Hey boys and girls, I'm gonna read a couple more chapters of our Junie B. Jones Boss of Lunch. Look, I brought Fred from the classroom. He's here at my house. I'm taking care of him. He's looking healthy, look at him. Even though he got knocked over a couple of times and kind of been up and stuff, he is doing fine. So Fred is here at home with me. All right, so chapter 3, we're gonna find out about Gladys, the lunch lady. Miss Goodsman, where are you? I hollered. It's me, it's Junie B. Jones. I looked all around me. There was a long counter with children pushing trays. Did anyone see Miss Goodsman? I asked the children. Does anyone know her? My friend said she's in here. This is the kitchen, but I don't even see her. I hollered her name even louder. Miss Goodsman, Miss Gladys Goodsman. Then all of a sudden, a lady came hurrying around the corner. And good news, it was her. It was Gladys Goodsman. I ran and hugged her very tight. Miss Goodsman, I am so glad to see you, I said. Miss Goodsman hugged me back. Junie B. Jones, I'm glad to see you too, she said. I smiled up at her. She was wearing her same big white apron from last year. Whoa, just look at you, Miss Goodsman, I said. You hadn't changed a bit. I patted her apron. You didn't even change your clothes, apparently, I said. Miss Goodsman laughed. She was wearing plastic mitts on her hands. Plus also she was wearing a hairnet. Hey, I remember those things from last year, I said. You told me you wear those plastic mitts and hairnet whenever you touch food. Remember? You said it was called good hygiene because mitts and a hairnet protect our food from dirty germs and hairs. Miss Goodsman made a face. Are you sure that's the way I put it? She asked. I skipped all around her in a circle. Hey, Miss Goodsman, now that you found me, can you start bringing cookies to my room again? I held up one finger. I am in room 1 this year, I said. Room 1 comes earlier in the alphabet than room 9. And so that you know where I am when you come to bring cookies. Okay, Gladys? Miss Goodsman did a chuckle. Then she leaned down towards me and she patted my arm. And she said, don't call her Gladys. After that, Miss Goodsman explained all about snacks. And she said that first graders don't get snacks like kindergarten kids do on account of first graders get cookies with their school lunches. I did a frown at that news. Yeah, only what about the children who bring their lunches, Miss Goodsman? Where are our cookies? Huh? Because today everybody got a cookie except for me and Sheldon. Miss Goodsman didn't answer my question. Instead, she raised her head and looked behind me. That's when I heard my teacher's voice. Junie B. Jones, he said in a kind of loudish. Exactly what are you doing? I spun around. And here's a picture of Junie. She's talking to Miss Goodsman. And she's got her hands on her hip like, what do you mean? Mr. Scary's eyes looked really annoyed at me. Why did you get up from the table, Junie B? He asked. What's the story here? Everyone was staring. I did a big gulp. Then I squeezed my eyes real tight and I tried to think of a story here. Well, let's see, I said. First, I was eating my brought lunch and everyone else was eating their bought lunch. And that's how come I was the first one finished. And then I was just sitting there and I spotted Herb's sugar cookie. And I really, really wanted that thing. And good news, Herb shared. And so then that delicious cookie reminded me about Miss Goodsman. And do you know Herb and Jose said she was right here in this exact kitchen? So I jumped up from my table and I ran in to say hello, I said. After that, I looked up at Miss Goodsman, kind of nervous, and I waved my fingers. Hello, I said real soft. Hello, she said back. Mr. Scary shook his head. No, I'm sorry, Junie B. I know Miss Goodsman has enjoyed seeing you, but you can't just get up from the table and run over here whenever you please, he said. Miss Goodsman nodded. Mr. Scary is right, Junie B, she said. I am very happy to see you, but you have to learn to follow the school rules. I did a sigh. Yeah, only I really, really wanted to find you, Miss Goodsman, I said, because I missed you so very much. and Miss Goodsman tapped her chin. She said, maybe I have an idea. Maybe if you promise to follow the rules, you can come back tomorrow and help me in the kitchen. Would you like that? Do you think? My eyes got big and wide at her. Are you kidding, Miss Goodsman? I said. Is this some kind of joke? She smiled again. No, she said, it's not a joke. We let children in the kitchen quite often, and if it's okay with your teacher, I'll give a permission slip to take home to your parents. I pulled on Mr. Scary's arm. Say okay, say it's okay, please, 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 I begged. Mr. Scary didn't answer right away. Instead, he ran his fingers through his hair, and he thought, and then finally he said it. Mr. Scary said, it's okay. I clapped and danced and twirled. I can do it, Miss Goodsman, I said. I can come and help you in the kitchen. Excellent, said Miss Goodsman. Then she reached behind the counter and handed me a permission slip. And that's not all, because she reached back there one more time and she pulled out a pair of brand new plastic mitts. Here, she said, these are for you. You can wear them around your house tonight and get used to them. I did a gasp at those wonderful things. Thank you, Miss Goodsman. Thank you. I've always wanted some of these thingamajigs. After that, I put them on my hands, very thrilled, and I waved goodbye to Miss Goodsman. See you, I said, see you tomorrow. And then I walked back to my lunch table with Mr. Scary. And I followed the rules for the rest of the day. And here she is getting her plastic gloves from Miss Goodsman, and see how excited she is? She's super excited. Chapter 5, Practicing. After school, I ran from the bus stop. It was my mother's day off from work. She was in the backyard playing with my baby brother named Ollie. Ollie is 10 months old. He cannot skip or play tag or color. So far, I'm not satisfied with him. I ran out the back door. Mother, I'm going to be a helper. I shouted very cheery. I quick-handed her the permission slip. Read this paper. Hurry. It's from Miss Goodsman, I said. You remember Miss Goodsman, right? Miss Goodsman used to bring cookies, the cookie lady last year. But this year she's branched out, apparently. Because now she's the boss of the whole kitchen operation, I think. Mother read the permission slip. I bounced up and down, very excited. See, Mother, see, Miss Goodsman wants me to be the helper in the cafeteria tomorrow. So all you have to do is sign this paper and it'll be all set. I started back into the house. I'll go get you a pen. Mother hollered, hold on, to me. This really doesn't sound like fun, Junie B, she said. But let's talk it over at dinner, okay? At dinner, you can tell Daddy and me all about it. I did a big breath at her. But I don't want to talk it over at dinner, Mother, I said. I want you to sign the paper exactly right now. Please, just sign it, okay? Mother smiled. Patience, Junie B, she said. Dinner is in just a few hours away. And I'd like Daddy to be in on this too. I rolled my eyes way up to the sky because Daddy always has to be in on everything. Finally, I went back into the house and I walked around the kitchen very bored. There's not anything to do in this dumb house, I grouched. Then all of a sudden, I spotted my backpack sitting on the floor. That's when I remembered my plastic mitts. I'd put them in my backpack to carry them home from school. I hurried to get them out of there. And then I put them on and I ran to the refrigerator. Now I can practice touching food, I said, real thrilled. I opened up the door and started touching stuff. First, I touched some fruit, and then an avocado, and then a squishy tomato, and then I put my hand in the butter, and then some creamy cottage cheese. Whoa, these mitts make touching food enjoyable, I said. After that, I was done, and I put the mitts in my pocket, and I went to watch TV. Only I couldn't pay attention that good because I kept on thinking about being a helper, of course. My excitement got bigger and bigger. Then hooray, my daddy finally came home from work, and it was time for dinner. As I sat down, I told Daddy all about Miss Goodsman. Then, surprise, I put on my mitts and I waved my hands around in the air. Look, Mother, look, Daddy. See what Miss Goodsman gave me? They're real professional mitts, like from the actual cafeteria. And I sat up straight and tall. Mitts do not spread dirty germs, I explained. And guess what else? I already know how to use these. After that, I jumped down from the table chair And I ran around the table and I touched everyone's dinner. I touched Mother's meatloaf, and I touched Daddy's mashed potatoes, and I touched Ollie's cream corn. I also put cream corn on Ollie's head. That was a funny joke, I think. Only no one even laughed. Mother took my mitts away. All right, here she is at dinner table. Here's Father and Mother, and there's Ollie, and she's got her gloves on, and she's waving, she's excited. And there's the cream corn on Ollie's head. I don't think her parents like that very much. She said that was not what mitts were for, young lady. At first, I thought I was gonna be in big trouble, but more good news. When Mother and Father tucked me into bed that night, they gave me back my permission slip, and hooray, it was signed. We're going to let you help in the kitchen, said Mother, but no funny business with those mitts. Got it? Got it, I said. A helper doesn't make things more difficult, Junie B, said Father. A helper makes things easier, okay? Okay, I said. Mother made her eyes real serious. A helper is not the boss, Junie B, she said. Maybe you should try repeating that one. A helper is not the boss. I repeated it. A helper is not the boss, I said. A helper is not the boss. After that, Mother and Daddy looked calmer. They kissed me goodnight and they turned off the light. I repeated it one more time. A helper is not the boss, I said. Then I closed my eyes and I went to sleep and I dreamed I was the boss. Boss of Lunch, Chapter 6. It was the funnest dream I ever had. I looked exactly like Miss Goodsman, except I had my own face. Also, I had my own apron and my own plastic mitts and my very own hairnet. I was a vision, I tell you. I worked my hardest in the kitchen. I washed all the carrots and I made all the hoagies, plus also I ate all the sugar cookies. After a while, room 1 came into the kitchen with their trays. The children saw how hard I was working. They called me Boss of Lunch, and they skipped around me in a happy circle. After that, they carried me all around on their shoulders. May did not participate. I waved at her as we went by. Then a duck flew in and chased her out of the room. That morning, I woke up laughing in my pillow. And guess what else? At school, my day kept getting on better and better because I gave Mr. Scary my permission slip and he let me go to the cafeteria at 10 o'clock. And so I hardly even did so much work. Miss Goodsman was delighted to see me again. She said I could start helping her very soon, but first she wanted to show me around the kitchen. It was the hugest kitchen I ever saw. It was a kitchen a giant would have. Look how big everything is, Miss Goodsman, I said. Look at that big dishwasher over there. And look at those big refrigerators. And whoa, look at those big sinks and that big giant freezer. I kept looking. And look at that big can opener. And look at this big floor we're standing on. And look at these big walls. And look at those big light switches. And look at those big... And Miss Goodsman interrupted me. Okay, let's move on, shall we? She said. I'd like you to meet some of the other folks who work in here, Junie B. After that, she took me over and introduced me to 6 grown-ups. I waved at those people kind of shy and kind, and they waved back. Plus also they said welcome. But here is the bestest part of all. After I met the people, Miss Goodsman opened a big drawer and she handed me a giant white apron. My mouth fell open at that huge thing. You mean I get to wear this, Miss Goodsman? I said. I get to wear an apron just like yours? Wowie, wow, wow. This is my dream come true. Miss Goodsman winked at me. Well, we sure didn't want you to mess up that pretty flowery dress of yours, do we? She said. After that, I pulled the apron over my head and I tied the straps around me. I looked to the ground and the apron came all the way down to my shoes, almost. I twirled and twirled around. Oh, I love this apron, Miss Goodsman, I said. This apron makes me feel like a princess. Miss Goodsman and I had a good imagination. After that, I put on the mitts and she had given me and I twirled some more. Now I have practically the whole outfit. Practically, I said real happy. And then, what do you know? All of a sudden, Miss Goodsman reached into her apron and she pulled out a hairnet. A hairnet just for me. and she put it on my head. Oh boy, thank you. Thank you, Miss Goodsman, thank you, I squealed. And then I zoomed to the oven and stared at myself in the glass. Look at me, just look at me. I look like a real professional lunch maker, I said. After that, I stared and stared at myself some more, and I couldn't even stop. Here's a picture of her in her apron, and she's dancing around, and she's so super happy that she has her apron. And then here's a picture of her staring at herself in the glass of the oven, and she is super happy about her hairnet. All right, we're gonna stop right there. That was 3 chapters, and I'll read some more tomorrow. I miss you guys, and y'all be good. Stay safe, wash your hands, do what your parents tell you to do.